Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RDS on the Red Bull live stage. This is going to be our fourth and final title of the competition. We have Counter-Strike 2, TCD, and SETU battling their way all the way to the LAN Grands. Two captains here, pick ban en route. Gonna hand you off to the wonderful admin to get you through that one, guys.
So first up, it'll be Trinity banning first.
We're banning Anubis.
We're banning Mirage.
And now Trinity will be picking the first map.
We'll pick Ancient.
We're picking Inferno.
We're banning Nuke.
We're banning Overpass.
And that leaves us with Dust 2? That leaves us with Dust 2 as the third map.
Picking sides?
Yes. So you, I assume CT both?
One big hand for the captains as they join their team. The last time we are going to be introducing one hand for these two guys.
It's what Ancient and Inferno.
Yeah.
Trinity managed to get. GG already.
Yeah, so you want CT on Inferno? Yes. Okay, yeah.
We pick T-side on Ancient.
Okay. Interesting. Cool.
Okay. Have it is.
Best of luck.
A months-long competition, 1,066 players boiled down to just 10. The final game of day 2 here on RDS. We are going to be pushing to our wonderful casters, Kurt and Shaw. Take it away, boys.
Thank you so much, Sandbag. Great hosting so far this Sunday. I'm so excited to see what's going to come out here. SETU versus TCD, and it's going to be a fantastic one here. How are you feeling for this show?
I mean, I wasn't here yesterday. I knew you were here yesterday. Man, the energy here is just electric, it feels like. And I'm really excited to close out today. You wanted to begin talking about the teams?
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about SETU and TCD because, you know, both these are pretty staples in the Counter-Strike scene in terms of our collegiate games. You know, TCD have been a powerhouse through and throughout what we've seen.
Yeah, TCD are the current 4-time reigning champions. So they're definitely looking to be the favorites here. But TUD, not TUD, sorry, SETU. I'm so sorry.
No, it's bad.
SETU. I mean, this is a rematch of the winter finals. So SETU looking to maybe correct their wrongs.
Definitely. And, you know, this is the stage to do it on the RedBull live stage. If they can do this at GamerFest, it would be a massive, massive win here. You know, they had a tumultuous time to get here. But we saw that, you know, they were able to get it over the line. You had them facing UCD in the semifinals, and they, you know, it was a tough time, but they won 2-1 over them. TCD, on the other hand, they had a dominant display over UCC and walked into the finals practically.
Yeah. I mean, the players are loading into the servers now. Yeah.
Yes.
Personal prediction, I expect TCD to be the favorites. However, SETU do manage to get Ancient into the pool, picked from Trinity, and they did manage to beat UCD on that with a pretty convincing showing versus UCD.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what they're going to bring to the table here. TCD, we expect to have some fantastic strats here to bring us across the board here. You know, they have some fantastic name here. A notable one that you'll hear us say a lot is Anime Women Aren't Real, which is a tough one to bring to bear, but it's they're a fantastic player. It's Fixie as well. You know, these are people that have been through the scene so much, and we've seen them bring a lot to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to happen on this Ancient because I do think it is such an interesting map of road teams. TCD, we kind of know them as this very confident team. They like to bring aggression across the board here. They know they have the mechanics and strategy to bring to every single endeavor, to every single fight, and so they do. They just fight their way through every single combat. They run and gun as quick as they can, and that's usually how they dominate versus most teams. So I'm expecting SETU to have to feel the brunt of that coming into this.
Yeah, SETU. If you're going to try and take on Trinity on Ancient, you have to have some sort of plan. Because as strong as they are, this is very kind of predictable in a way from Trinity. Like, we've been talking about this all season long. Trinity love Ancient, and they love being so aggressive. Second map, Inferno, we'll get to that in time, but I think it's an interesting pick from SETU. I expect Trinity should be on the CT side for that map. Any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think that's what's going to pop over here on the Inferno. But, you know, obviously first comes to first. Ancient here, because it is the pick of TCD, I expect SETU. I believe they picked T side the last time they ran it out, so I'd feel similarly in that kind of regard here. But it's such an interesting map in terms of the mid control you have to go. I think if you're the CT side, if you're defending, you have to really play proactively. You cannot sit defensively because you will just get run over. There's so many avenues of attack across the board here, going through, you know, A main, donut, speedway, cave, all these kind of moments, all these positions to run. And so I'm expecting to see a lot of TCD taking that mid control, throwing those aggressive smokes, playing that cave control basically every single round that they have any kind of pressure.
Yeah, we are seeing TCD on the CT side here to start. So we're going to be seeing immediately that sort, maybe not immediately, maybe after pistol round, but we're going to be seeing them take this much more aggressive stance. As all of SETU are going to be going towards B. They're slowly walking up. TCD have predicted this perfectly. They have 3 players in towards. They're all attacking Frederick. There's a 2-on-2 here. I don't know whether Red gets a free kill, but Moon trades back with 2. They don't know about the player in cave though. Asphyxia gets 1 kill, but is traded out by M4. So SETU with a man advantage, and they have the post plant.
Yeah. Yeah, this is massive to pick up here, as well as that taking the fight here is Awaken. Great to pick that up, though. Bring it down to the 2 versus 2. QB and Ozuki are going to have to fight on in. It's just down to Ozuki here, 7 HP. No armor, doesn't even matter at this case. Does have a kit if he can break it down, but running across, needs to dodge straight on through, but the time is not there. And that is going to be SETU to start you off here. Massive pistol to take here. They want to build the momentum early here because TCD are not a team you want to let snowball whatsoever here. So getting that out, being able to confidently take the site is so strong here. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring as Ancient keeps on going.
Yeah, we've been talking so much about Trinity, but going on to the SETU, you know, they're a team that really likes to snowball and really likes these out of spawns calls. They're a team that, you know, when they have the spawns, they feel confident in being able to take it. And they're just cleaning up the eco here. TCD managed to get 2. And 2 players are pushing out of... I mean, they get 3rd, actually.
Yeah, that's
It's not on QB, but they know QB's here. But 1-on-2 for QB. I don't want to count him out just yet. He has a Mac 10 and a smoke. He doesn't have a kit. And SETU will be getting bombed down. He's on the other side of the map. Is he going to be saving this Mac 10?
Yeah, I mean, he might be trying to wrap around, see can he find a weapon, because there was another Galil in play that he might be able to find. But overall here, so far it's a success here. Whether or not he can get more here, which he will fight for. That Mac 10 going fast. He is going to have aim punch to fend through, and that AK of Moon will bring him down. So SETU get themselves a 2-0 start here, but that is still big from TCD. They invested so little with the pistols, and they got 3 kills on board for it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it immediately in that round. Trinity just pushing down mid and outside of A main. And they just take the fight to SETU and they win the fight. They don't exactly win all the fights, but they win enough of the fights to make it a bit dicey for SETU.
Yeah, and now it's going to be competitive here. The rifles are out for TCD here, so Trinity going to be trying to do something here. Very passive, though. They don't have the utility to be able to take these aggressive fights. SETU are going to be the ones to bring out some mid-control, but Azuki in the donut picks up the first kill. This aggression from Kim Frederick as well down the ramp will be traded off. So SETU, they might have been locked a little bit out of mid, but they can make a bit of ground through B and force TCD onto these rotates. So now that time's ticking down, the util is very low for TCD, so they have to play very, very far back.
This read from SETU, they understand that they just killed one of the B player. And there's a gap opening in mid. So so quickly they're hitting the B site. And there's only one player here. And he's taken enemy woman on real goes down immediately. So that's what feels like such a free bomb site. For SETU.
Yeah, they're going to lock them out, molly them as well. The bomb is going to get planted here, so they're all going to rally through CT, and Asphyxia is good for the first. Down to the 3 versus 3, and some low SETU players could spell disaster here, making their way forward, but Aaron James is great for that kill. Gets traded out into the 2v2, but this flank from M4 is going to be massive. Picks up the double. SETU take their third. TCD, they get themselves into a nice position to try to retake here, but the great trap is sprung. And that is a huge round to pick up here as the economy of TCD is now just broken.
That's an amazing read from M4. Understanding that that if he's not taking that contact on long right there, then they're most likely going to be pushing in from short. And so that snap in, that instant decision to go push that, to go for the flank, just wins them the round.
Well, we've been disconnected here.
Azuki did push a main.
We're back, guys. We're back. Are going to get locked out there. We expect SETU to get that round there, but maybe with some of those pistols, maybe with something, they can get a couple of kills here. That scout we saw get taken out here, but this is a fantastic start for SETU as we get back into the server, get ourselves to try to see what we can do here. But it is still that 4v5. We are still going to see. Oh, we ought to get some fixing, so maybe not. It is a 3v1. Asphyxia, the only one remaining here. He has been able to recover an AK in the time we were absent. But SETU looking for a fourth here as we're locked out once again here. It's a tough one. Counter-Strike is a cruel mistress, to say the least here, as we do get pushed away. But a 4-0 start from SETU. I don't know if that was on my cards necessarily here. TCD having a struggle here to get going on the stage.
I mean, the pistol round isn't so important for SETU to win. They get the pistol round, they get the conversion. The next round, it gets a bit closer, but M4 with a flank again. This round, we didn't really catch it.
Yeah, as we hopefully get back into the server as quickly as possible here. I'm interested to see how TCD are going to change it up into round 5 here, because they should have money on the cards. And it's just a question of, are they going to play more aggressive? They've been playing so passive. We talked about how we expected aggression from TCD. Obviously, we've only had a couple of rounds with rifles available, so there hasn't been much opportunity to do so. But I expect on this 5th round, they kind of are going to hit the ground running, and they're going to try to take some mid control. They're going to try to take some cave control, and they're going to see, can they manifest that into a round win? Because SETU are starting to build up a little bit of an economy on that T side. They're starting to gain some momentum, and that's going to be a massive one moving forward here, as hopefully we do get back in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you did see Trinity try to do something at the start there. Azuki went into the A main to try and go for that scout peek, but he just gets taken out immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, and we should be back in.
Did convert that round.
Yeah, but this is massive though. But so far, I was really, seeing the two teams, seeing the form TCD has had, I was expecting them to, have such a strong grip on this game early. But the CT side on Ancient is starting to pay a little bit here. And we are going to see what they can do. They will have full rifles, though. They will have a lot of utility on hand. And that is going to be crucial here. And I think that's where round 3, they didn't quite have it. They didn't have enough mollies and smokes to really justify aggression through mid. Because once you take it, you're completely out of any kind of steam. And they just did not have the means to justify it here. So perhaps going forward, we can see what's going on. Asphyxia has been having a great game, even though they haven't been winning the rounds, being the one to bring so many kills to the table. They are 7-4.
I mean, we did mention it earlier that SETU feel like they should have some idea of what they're going into on this map. So maybe it could be that this map pick is coming back to bite Trinity, but it could also be that it's just so early in the series.
Yeah, really is. But now going into this round 5 here, yeah, once this time round we are seeing completely throwing A away. We are going to see this mid control taken, but no one from SETU is biting this time round. I think having that idea, having that inkling that you know TCD is such an aggressive mid control oriented team, you take that out of the way. And they're slowly making their way through main, and they'll see what they can get forward here as the time ticks down and TCD start to rotate back around.
Yeah, and very well played from SETU, allowing Trinity to first initially take that space, and then when they don't have the utility to contest it, then you're able to retake those areas of the map. As you can see on all parts of the map, SETU are just slowly pushing forward. They're slowly trying to clear out all the angles. You can see, I believe it's Awaken, just clearing out mid, seeing if there's anyone heaven, and then he's communicating with the team, and towards B. Now all the rest of the players are going to try and clear out that lane position.
Yeah, and now we're going to see SETU, they're going to start to make their way forward here. They've been staying still, waiting for TCD aggression, but it has not come to pass here. But the rotate in, that smoke fake through ramp might be a huge, huge piece of the puzzle here as SETU make their way through main, make their way through the donut. Asphyxia is caught out, dropping down. 30 seconds on the clock here, but they have the A site, and they have the kills as well. Awaken and Aaron James take their piece in this 2v5. It is not enough. It is SETU in the 5v1. It is Anime Women aren't real good for one, but that is a massive, massive round. SETU take that crucially important rifle round.
And look at what it does to the economy. It resets Trinity right back.
Yeah, oh, there is an AWP in the
there's an
hands
AWP.
though. There is going to be that idea come to pass.
Oh,
we're gone.
we're back.
I didn't know if it was just us. Something has disappeared. We were in a technical limbo here. But that was, nonetheless, whatever happens to us, that was a fantastic round to be seen from SETU there. I think they completely outsmarted TCD. That felt like completely prep based on how TCD plays Ancient. As you were saying, maybe this was a fumble in the fact that they've played it so much that you can be anti-stratted so well because your tendencies are known. The way you like to run Ancient is known.
Yeah, one thing we don't want to note, Trinity looked like they were so prepared. They have so much material, but versus SETU, this is, I believe, the second series in a long time that SETU has played on Ancient.
Okay, and we have just been told there is a little bit of a technical issue to bring to, so we will run ourselves to a 5-minute break. But once we do, we will hopefully be back with our game of SETU versus TCD, with SETU off to a fire start 5-0. But do not go anywhere, as we will be back in just a moment. And we are back. After a little bit of technical foibles occurring, we are on to what will be the 6th round of this national finals between SETU and TCD. And TCD are taking a wild swing here. They don't have quite all the money they need, but they are investing every cent of it here. That op on QB is going to be a huge, huge piece for SETU here as they start to break their way out towards B main and Speedway.
Yes, TCD just fighting from cave and from heaven. That's that aggression we were talking about from TCD earlier, and finally it's paying off. And SETU are at the disadvantage 3v5. They don't even have control of the bomb actually. Now I think about it, it's in cave, isn't it? Aaron James managed to pull one back out from mid, but Trinity now have man advantage, and SETU have to find some solution. As Fixer goes down actually, caught outside of cave, and there's no one there to trade for him. They should know that there's another player inside cave here. Army Woman aren't real, holding that bomb. And Trinity players are going to slowly group up and trying to clear out mids and trying to hold out that bomb. See QB with the AWP in towards Red Room. He's so paranoid about this position from Aaron James. He's on 1 health, but he's caused so much mental anguish for QB.
Yeah, I mean, 1 HP to an AWP is still a full HP player practically, but starting to try to break in. They need to recover that bomb here. That Molly's going to try to clear up. Oh, the jump spot is massive for the cave players here. Just trying to break away. It is 25 seconds. It is a massive flash, but King Frederick, he may get one, but he gets taken down. 2 versus 2, 20 seconds on the clock. Low HP on the SETU players, though, will be costly, and Aaron James, 1 HP. No time to work with, but running out. 10 seconds is not enough time here. You cannot run fast enough. It's going to have to be the save here, seemingly here, unless they try to chase here. But if he dies after the time, he will lose out on all the money he did not gain. That is a huge round to pick up for TCD here. You know, there is a conversation to be had that, you know, technical problems slowing down the game. That might have favored TCD here because it gave them that moment, even if it wasn't a strategic one, to break the momentum that SETU had set. And now, going into round number 7, this is going to be a crucial one for TCD to keep it up here, because they only survived with 1 member. It was just QB that was left, so they have to buy everything else.
Yeah, but it feels like they won those other rounds relatively convincingly. So it feels like SETU are fine for the buy here. They have basically full utility here. But we're seeing this aggression again from Trinity. They have 2 players in cave. They're ready to go. They're smoking off heaven, and they're ready to go fight. Awaken, ready for the swing. But they decide against it. So Awaken will take the fight to them, and he gets flashed in, but they're not killing the corner. Unwoman on real gets a kill. I thought there was another player there for some reason. Moon walks up ramp, gets a kill. It's traded by M4. Asphyxia gets the kill back. So it's a 2v3. It's 2v3 now for SETU. But the Trinity don't know where these players are, and they still have control of the bomb. Unlike that last round, when they had to go to cave to fight. So, SETU, they're going to walk into Donut. Try and isolate that one fight onto the A player. They know there's 2 players in B. That flash does give Trinity the knowledge, but I mean, there's no one here to actually stop the plant.
Yeah, in the cave, though, is going to be QB ready with the AWP in hand. Finally getting to see it find some success here. And it's just Cristiano Ronaldo to bring us out of the 7th round. And it's looking like TCD should take this. But sneaking through the smoke, it's not going to do it here. Ozuki with the FAMAS finds the final kill here. And TCD, they find early success towards the cave here. And it does not work out there. It's just a lot of dry trades towards the B site that lead to SETU having this disadvantage round.
You kind of see Trinity kind of second-guess themselves there on cave. But SETU take the fight to them. You know, and I feel like previously I was praising SETU for just kind of sitting back, you know, letting Trinity do their thing first, trying to pull out that utility. So it's a good adaptation from Trinity, I will say.
Yeah, and look at this economy now. SETU, they're getting onto the last legs of it, you know, low in terms of the Tech 9, the Mac 10, the AWP switches down a little bit too far, and QB not going to be able to take the shot here out of Donut here. Mid control taken, but they are trapped right now with the smoke on Red Room, with the smoke on Donut. I think the Red Room one is fading here, and Asphyxia is going to have to be the one to face it. Molly forward here. They don't expect him to run through the flames to take the fight. 5 versus 4 now. TCD in a great position. They got that kill. They still have control of their sights, and SETU need to readjust.
I'm wondering how much that technical timeout affected Trinity's mental, because it feels like, you know, part of that reset is also a mental reset for Trinity. You know, they were getting, if not necessarily run over, but SETU definitely had the advantage and the momentum. So I wonder how much that timeout really allowed SETU Trinity to be like, okay, let's calm ourselves here. You know, we know where we should be doing well. Let's calm ourselves. Let's play this how we usually play it. So Trinity with the man advantage here. In a 5v4. Still possible for SETU. We'll see. As SETU players inch, trying to take the duel on too long. King Frederick gets a kill and gets out. The smoke comes in for both long and short. So that'll prevent the Trinity players from really contesting this plant. And Aaron James peeks out from cave. He gets taken out by a nade. And King Frederick spams to the smoke. They get pushed to the smoke.
That is a devastating one there. SETU, they let the time tick down so far. You know, they were only 25 seconds remaining on the clock when they decide to try to make their way out there with the disadvantage here. And TCD, they just played so passive. Anime women aren't real. He gets the contact in cave and just pulls away. Gives them the space here. King Frederick gets one with the MP7. As you said, he escapes, which he definitely felt like it was not the situation where he should have. We are going to see the call timeout here from SETU here, trying to readjust themselves now. Maybe they just need that moment, that 30 seconds to just switch up the strategy here. But the only problem with calling a timeout now is you don't have the money here. This round is kind of going to have to be a write-off unless you go for some massive play right now.
Yeah, I'm wondering what SETU are looking for here. I feel like this timeout may have been, like as you said, this timeout may have been better used next round when they have the money to actually contest it. I mean, they do have money here, so maybe they're debating whether they want to contest it or not. Oh, we have a bit of an issue.
Okay, back in. But yeah, I'm interested to see TCD. They built up a lot of momentum here as well. They won that round fairly handily, so they've been able to save so much money from themselves. You know, getting a kill with an MP7 as well gives a lot of money in the bank. Saving those AKs means you don't have to reinvest anything. So they, with that string of 3 so far, have led themselves into a position where they have so much money on call. It is going to be us breaking into this mid-round as we had our little moment there, but it's a 3v3 now. SETU have somehow fully invested and taken some kills from it. Bomb gets planted here, but King Frederick on the flank through. Ramp takes out one with the MP7 now. 2 versus 3, but they don't have control here. They don't have the shots. Aaron James gets taken, and in the 3v1, it's just Cristiano Ronaldo who gets brought down by Ozuki. TCD take a 4th, and SETU, they're on a 4-round loss streak. They are going to be struggling here. They got the plant, though, so money isn't going to be completely broken, but it's not really enough to get everything you'd ever want.
I'm wondering, because we didn't get to see it because we had a bit of a technical issue on our end, but I'm wondering if SETU have this money because they just had pistols last round. I'm wondering. So, they have the AK, they bring in the AKs, and some of them have Galils, but this is close enough to a full buy. And Trinity, not exactly contesting anything so far, but again, 2 towards cave. SETU, get out fast. And all of the players are going to be heading towards Red Room. As Ozuki peeks out Donut. Gets a kill. Oh, and M4 peeks out, doesn't get punished by the AWP. But Ozuki and Donut gets another kill. Aaron James goes down. And SETU are now forced to pull back. Ozuki and Donut is doing so much work this round. He's still alive. He's on 18 HP. And look, he dropped the bomb as well.
Yeah, this is a crazy round for TCD. Just that individual play here. SETU were trying some aggression. They had taken through Speedway. They had smoked off Cave. They had ran up through mid and tried to take some control here. But as you say, Ozuki on with the 3K, looking for the last 2 who are just sitting back. You know, they have 50 seconds on the clock here, but they're going to be struggling to get anything more. A bomb is available to them. That did not get lost completely. They recovered what was dropped. And it's just a question of timings now for every single situation, as they are a little bit curious that there could be something slowing through Red Room, but it will be the main destination here. The op finds one and even likes the second throughout. Second shot from QB finds M4, and we are going to see a quick little jump out of the server, but 5-5 here. TCD have just completely broken away here, and they keep winning consistently here. Everyone across the board has so much money available to them, and it's going to be such a tough one to be able to recover this here, because now the momentum is all in TCD's favor here. 5-0 for SETU, 5-0 for TCD, and now last 2 rounds and a half. How do you recover this? How do you fight back in terms of this game?
I mean, regardless of how this half ends, whether Trinity, managed to get the 7 rounds in a row to close out the half, you're still happy if you're SETU. 5 rounds on T side of Ancient is still very good.
Yeah, it's still a massive thing to pick up here. Anything more would be perfect. They didn't get a plant there either. They have a 3,400 loss bonus, so they will be struggling as we hopefully get back into the server as soon as we can here. But it's definitely feeling like TCD. First of all, they have enough money to buy for the last 2 rounds of the half. They have so many AKs recovered, so they're not going to be struggling here. It's just about how they play it out here. And there's been so much adjustments they've run. They've played the aggression. They've played the more reserved. They've played this kind of pulling back from the aggression, adjusting to SETU. And it's really just been throwing them for a loop ever since we came back into the server.
Yeah, the adjustments from Trinity. SETU had some sort of idea about how Trinity were going to play, but how can you predict this? There's just so many different angles, so many different styles coming out from Trinity that it's just so hard to try to get in their heads of what they're actually going to be able to do. They go for the mid aggression, and then other rounds, they stayed in mid. Now they immediately peel back.
Yeah, and we'll have to see, can it be successful here? But to start it off, Anime Women Aren't Real brought down massive flash. Azuki on the swing round. They're taking some aggressive fights here in that 5v4. They don't have the smokes to block off the angles they need to. They get the plant down, but you can't take these fights. You have pistols, you have SMGs, and TCD have success. They find the kills, they find the defuse, and there's no way M4 can break back in. That is 6 on the board for TCD, and that is going to be a huge one to pick up here. 1 round remaining in the half. When SETU, they're going to have to scrounge something here, but it's looking like TCD could be set for 7 here if they're not careful.
I mean, they got the bomb plant. They didn't get that many kills, but SETU does have good money into this coming into the next round. We are in a bit of a technical. Yeah. They do have a bit of a technical issue here, but
yeah, we'll have to see.
Again, so many different styles coming out from Trinity. You see, again, they go for the mid aggression and then they pull back. And because of that, they're so fast with the rotate. SETU are never comfortable in that post plant right there. In the other rounds, they've managed to get into reasonably comfortable positions. But there, immediately, what was that? QB, I believe, came from Cave?
Yes. It was just this change of paces they've been running since we saw the adjustments here. SETU haven't been able to find their rhythm alongside that. They're playing to counter this aggression, but when they adjust the aggression, it gets a little bit lost. They don't know exactly how to respond here because they're hoping to at least simplify the equation. They're hoping to get a kill, maybe get traded here. But if you can break it down to like a 4v4 or anything like that, you are in a better position as the Ts generally, because now the CTs have to spread out thinner, they have to be a little bit more reserved, or they have to make a big play. So either way, you're adjusting how the CT game plan needs to run if you play for trades. But we are going to hopefully get back in.
A bit of a technical issue here. We're not sure how long this is going to take.
Yeah.
I believe we're verifying integrity of files.
But we'll get to the action as soon as we can here. Of course, this is just the first map. This is just Ancient here. TCD did pick this out as theirs. SETU picked the side of T side, which they had early success on. But once this map is over, we will be running on over to Inferno here, which will be SETU's map pick. So it'd be interesting to see if any adjustments are made and how they get done going forward here. And then if we need to make it there, if the decider is to be gotten to, Dust 2 will be the final map of the series here. But it's going to be a huge fight here. You know, SETU, if you were watching earlier in the day, we saw them win out the Rocket League in a 4-0 fashion in that best of 7. And here, if they can win this out, they will be the college as the national finalists that win it out. They will be the All-Ireland winners in terms of their college, in terms of their university.
I mean, on the other hand, though, it was Trinity who lost versus SETU in that Rocket League finals. So this Trinity team could come avenge the other Trinity team in Rocket League. So this is shaping up to be much more exciting than I would have expected. I came in, I think we both came in, and we expected, Trinity is an incredibly strong team. This is Trinity's map pick as well. And I think we're beginning to see that. But the start from SETU was so incredibly strong.
For sure. And I'm interested to see what then TCD are going to do on that CT side, or that T side, how SETU are going to play their own a little bit. So instead, we're going to, I'm just curious how they're going to run it here. Are we going to see similar displays from SETU versus Trinity when they move on to the CT side? Are we going to see heavy aggression? Are we going to see them pushing that hard? Or will we see their own flavor of that CT side? More adjustments here. It's one of those maps where you kind of leave A for the most part. A is very much the auxiliary site for half the map because you don't put as much pressure as CT's there. So I'm curious, how SETU are going to play out theirs. It is the last round of the half that will be coming up, and it will be to decide if we are going to see SETU even it out, or if we will see Trinity get themselves to 7 to get themselves a lead. It is looking strong, though, from Trinity here. It's first bloods. We're seeing who has been able to break ground first, and right now Trinity has been the one leading the score on that 8-3, which is a massive one to pick up.
Yeah, again, the signature mid-push from Trinity. Does this provoke a reaction from SETU towards A, though? As all of Trinity's players, most of Trinity's players will peel back from mid, and 2 of them will be heading towards A here. That CT smoke coming in from SETU will cause a reaction from Trinity. But Aaron James just walks up ramp and gets a kill on the back. QB there to trade. They know also he's mid. But they're still trying to hit into A here. But there's 3 players. I believe there's 2 players here. There's 3 players here effectively, because Ozuki was right there on mid. He's so quick to rotate, and it immediately falls flat for SETU. They managed to find the man advantage, but I mean they just go into the wrong side. It feels like they're a bit too impatient on that call.
It was Trinity as well, choosing to stay very, very stalwart over towards the cave. Now, just M4 remaining, 1 versus 3. Asphyxia peeks out. That is a 7-5 half in favor of Trinity. But yeah, we could just see the confidence, I think, in terms of their players, being able to judge how they want to do. TCD, they ran 2 in cave, just sitting there waiting. So even when Aaron James just walks onto the site, they're ready for it. They're happy for him to do that. And it means that their rotations, they had 2 players on A that whole time, and then the mid rotate's able to pull in as well very, very quickly. So that short fake doesn't even live long. But going into the second half, we're going to have to see how SETU respond here. 5-7.
Yeah, Trinity with 2 flashes, so they're going to be jumping up mid here with all 4 of their players. They do have 2 smokes, I believe, and 4 players are charging into red room. It looks like they're going to be going for an A flank. But there's 2 players here to defend, and they're taking the long-range fights. They have a P2000, P250, sorry.
Yeah, okay. But they're going for the wrap. They're going for the split here. They have main, they have CT. It's just Donut that is going to have to be a gap here. Moon finds one. It's down to the 4v4. The bomb should be able to be planted in just a moment, but now it's up to SETU to bring the fight to them. The smokes are perfect to hold them back. Moon has a kit. They have some utility on board, but it is going to be a tough one for SETU to take back.
And James kills the player in CT. That player was pushed up, and I feel like that was a good fight for Shin to be able to take. Only women aren't real. Gets 1 kill. Looking for Ninja 3. Peek out. He gets shot in the back of the head by M4 though. And it's a 2-for-1. It's 2-on-1. But Aaron James is defusing. The bomb's not planted for Ultiki. And SETU gets it! They get the pistol. They get both of the pistol rounds in this map. That's a massive boon for SETU in this game. And, you know, it breaks a string of rounds that Trinity had built up. So, massive round for SETU to get here.
It really is, and I think that comes down to, I think, the confidence. They went through main, they went through CT, they planted for there, they planted away from Donut. So Azuki, if his teammate stayed alive, was in a perfect position to go for a flank there, but because they died, he was then the one that it wasn't planted for, so he could not really take the fights. But now, second round of the half, the buys come in, the plant was gotten, so that means the money's on board. That means that TCD are going to break their way, and they take a lot of damage for it. They get the plant, they get the man advantage, and now it is up to SETU to fight back here. Once again, just one kit across the board, and it's just a question of can they break back into the side. Good for the first 4v4, low HP. We are going to see an attempt to break in, but these smokes are so long-lived. That nade picks up one, and now it's just so little time. We're already half-ticked here. Getting stuck in the smoke is M4 trying to break out. Look at those kills as TCD win it out. They force off the back of the plant. Azuki survived as well in that pistol, and with that money, they turn the second round on its head and make SETU pay.
It feels like SETU just were not ready for the pace of that round. Trinity just, as a 5-man, just rush B. And it's like a death ball on B. And they, with the utility, with the smokes, they just completely shut out the retake from SETU before it even gets going. So Trinity with the response right back, 8-6 right now. All of SETU's players are going to be charging out mid, but it feels like, all the players brought down low by the nade. Azuki with 3. And the rest of the Trinity players will find that the A site is completely empty. So it feels like this is a 9th round already for Trinity.
It is. SETU, they did not invest very much. I think they had a little bit. I think they had a 5-7 armor on one player, but for the most part, this was them just pulling away, hoping to do something gimmicky with a full stack push. They are going to get the one and potentially another one if they can play around this a bit better. Moon has slow walked his way to try to make his way as Asphyxia fighting with this MAC-10, trying to scrounge up some cash. There's just Cristiano Ronaldo CSGO left alive with that MAC-10. I mean, he doesn't have armor, so the save here isn't even that valuable, but I think if he can get another kill, there's a conversation here of how important kills are. Oh, but that is not going to be it. Asphyxia got brought low, but could not be finished out. TCD are on to a 9th round, and that is going to be a huge one to pick up here. Hoping for SETU. I don't know if they have the money here. They don't have the loss bonus to necessarily get the cash flowing. But TCD, they've set themselves up to potentially get to double digits early on in the second half off the back of these last 2 round wins.
Yeah, and looking at the money here for SETU, it's kind of in a weird spot where they could potentially justify a buy, but it's not good enough to actually get like a full buy off. So I'm wondering if they might take a timeout here, a tactical timeout, or get time to discuss. Because I'm not sure what they want to do here. They could go either way. But I mean, Trinity, off the back of just those 2 rounds, they managed to keep so many players alive. Just those 2 rounds, that their economy is flourishing.
Of course, and looking for us, it does look like the investment is set up for SETU, but it is something we even talked about during the national semifinals when they were facing up against UCD in that best of 3. We talked about how they were very back and forth in terms of the investments they were opting for. There was so many half investments that left them a little bit low on cash throughout the game. So here they're just going to completely reset down to 0. It's a lot of scrounging to make sure you get nades, you know, going for these SMGs, going for these lesser weapons. So can that fight bring to it? Are they going to just pull out some aggression here? Are they going to play a little bit more gimmicky? Or are we going to see TCD fight back?
Yeah, I'm wondering how much of this is SETU feeling the pressure of Trinity. Because Trinity managed to snowball so many rounds on that CT side. I'm wondering how much of it feels like, you know, we cannot let Trinity do this again to us. They managed to get the first kill on round. But they're not expecting King Frederick just outside a cave, getting 2. So, man advantage for Trinity. And it looks like they're going to head out towards... Oh! Moon pushes through the caves, not the cave smoke, the donut smoke. Managed to get 1. before going down, but does damage to QB. Does a lot of damage to QB. And looks like Aaron James wants to kind of contest this as well. Is he going to be expecting asphyxia in the corner?
Oh, he's going to
He's
take
going to
damage.
keep him forward, but he takes on asphyxia, and the health on QB might come back to bite him, as Ozaki is the one charging in first. And now it's all on QB. He's a low player. It's a one-on-one now. They both know where each other are, roughly, but he's not expecting Aaron James in Temple. SETU get their first, I want to say, non-pistol round win since round 5 of the game.
Yeah, that is a massive one to pick up there. That was a string of 7 for TCD, then 2 after the pistol. So they've been really running the show so far. But that is massive for SETU to reset the momentum, to bring themselves forward here. TCD, they still have the money for it though. They still have the AKs, they still have the utility, and they are still going to take these fights. Aggression in the mid is going to lead to trades across the board. 3v3 brought down here, and TCD are the ones that take control of mid through it. How are they going to use this? Are they going to push through? We are seeing some fantastic aggression come in, and SETU just have to sit and wait because they do not know where is being played to.
Yeah, Aaron James is going to go try and cover this RedBull position. Does he expect Asphyxia to be this close once again? It looks like he has the idea that they could be there. Trinity will be heading towards the A position. There's potentially 2 defenders here, actually. This could go very poorly. And one of the Trinity players is just there for the flank, essentially, or to cut off any rotations. We don't know if he'll actually be getting in.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough one. And this round is very much a crucial one on the table. It is so pivotal for both sides, for SETU versus TCD, because if SETU can try to claw back another round, it is massive. If TCD can win it out, they start to stomp away some of the hope for SETU. So this Ancient very much cusps on this as wait and see how the outcome has displayed, how it can go. I see some cheers across the board as we are going to see that it is TCD that take it. Not seeing the situation, tough, but TCD get to double digits. We do get them to break the economy of SETU, and it's looking like it's running out of time for SETU, to say the least here, because we're expecting them to lose this one unless they can make some massive plays. It is going to actually be a heavy investment. So kind of throwing everything at the situation, hoping to catch TCD off guard in this 18th round.
But Trinity is so slow. To say, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo. We got a free. Oh, it's kind of messy. He gets a free kill. And does he get messy to get out? He doesn't. He chooses not to go back into A, so he will go down. But look at this. Also, he just finds his way onto B for free. I don't believe they have any info on this. So he will just chill and clear at CT. It's all Aaron James. And Aaron James goes down. Also, he almost caught out with a nade in hand, but he's not punished for it. So Trinity are able to just walk into the B side for free. With Ozaki on this angle, it's really hard to contest. Awaken with the deal shot. Now hold on a second. QB corrects the mistakes of Ozaki. And now it feels like SETU are just... I mean, these players are so far apart, and...
Yeah, that's a save.
Yeah, that's a save.
That's a save. M4 is going to hopefully keep that M4 here. But if you're TCD, I don't know if you have the money to chase. QB is going to be one to attempt, though. They do see that M4. They are going to know it is on the cards. So they are going to start to flank their way out of B and potentially take it out of his hands because it does break everything here. But TCD aren't exactly spry either. They do take it out of their head. M4 is ready, but King Frederick is quicker with that AK. 11-7, and TCD break the economy of SETU. They don't have the money they need. They have a tactical timeout they are going to throw ahead. But this is feeling like TCD have found their footing. It was an early bit of wobbling, but now they're in the driver's seat through and throughout.
Yeah, I'm wondering what SETU are calling this tactical timeout for, considering they don't have pistols. We were talking about, I mean, you brought it up earlier, that in the match they had versus UCD, they decided to force a lot, and they're going to be buying up here as well. I'm not necessarily agreeing with this idea that, you know, when they're down, if they're down, that they should always be forcing, even if the money would be better if they save next round. I'm not necessarily agreeing with this. Yeah, they have pistols, they have smokes, but you're going into AKs. It almost goes really poorly for Trinity, but they managed to stabilize. And 5v3, it kind of feels like a done deal this round. Trinity most likely up to 12, and SETU praying to whoever to try and be able to try and turn the ship around.
Definitely, it's a situation here where SETU are looking like they're struggling here. But it's even the attack timeout, even these decisions, like you invested a surprising amount into that round. You know, a pistol, some armor, all of that together, you're spending a lot of money that could have been spent in a round like this round 20, which is potentially the end of the map. You spent so much money on a round that didn't find any value, so now you get less nades, you get less armor, you get less kits. It's going to cost you. There is a cost to spending in the previous. You don't have the loss bonus to attribute yourself to these kind of wins. And on that CT side, you just cannot succeed if you are not making the most of your money. And that's going to favor TCD here, who are stacked up in terms of money here with those wins, with the fact it's the T side. And now going into the 20th round, it is going to have to work out for you with very little utility.
I'm still trying to process what SETU's logic is for this. The M4 in the last round of play has an MP9 when he could have been sitting on well, like his namesake, an M4. They flash down, but they can't punish the boost just yet. And Awaken is taking out Beacon Frederick. It feels like this may be the end of the game here. As SETU not given much space to work with. They have the space on mid, but it's not going to matter when Ozuki is already pushed into CT. 2v5, it looks like we are most likely closing out this map.
Yeah,
Trinity 13-7. I'd say that's considering how they started, that's a very good showing.
For sure, you know, I think the second half of the map is when we really saw them shine, where we saw TCD start to find their footing, and this time around it is they just run it through. I think that is the penultimate or the ultimate kind of example of how they play their game. They play aggressive, they play this kind of disrespectful CS at times, and we are going to see them take this game, them cheering aloud. And that is going to be a 13-7 finish in favor of SETU.
A 13-7 in favor of Trinity.
Wrong team.
Wrong team. But
If they...
I mean, we kind of expected this from Trinity. You know, they are such a strong team, and this is their map pick. Even though we've seen good stuff from SETU, you know, if you're picking the map, you're kind of expected to do well on the map.
Exactly, and I'm expecting a lot from Inferno. I'm expecting SETU to be able to try to ram themselves together. And now that's massive to see from TCD. You know, being able to come back, being able to turn themselves around. But yeah, glimmers of hope from SETU, and it's a world in which I think an Inferno could be very competitive, especially one where they can iron out some of those kinks. I think have a conversation about how they play the economy, how they run these rounds out. But for now, we're going to run it to a quick break between maps to get our players a little bit of a break, and so we can take a moment. We will be back to you in just a moment, though. Don't go anywhere.
Just move on.
GamerFest, Counter-Strike Map 2 TCD versus SETU is going to be going in 5 minutes. Go ahead and take your seats. 5 minutes, game 2, right after this.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ireland Esports Collegiate National Finals Counter-Strike 2. We are finally coming back to our map 2 between SETU and TCD. We just saw on Ancient a 13-7 victory in favor of Trinity, and now it is up to SETU to try to bounce back on their map pick of Inferno. I am Curtin. Once again, joined with me is Shaw. That 13-7 was definitely quite a map.
Yeah, it started off so well for SETU, but midway into that first half, Trinity just gained the momentum and they never looked back. So now we're on to the second map here, which is Inferno, which is SETU's map pick. And Trinity choose to go to the T side, which is very interesting. Wait. Oh yes, no. Sorry,
Trinity are actually on the CT side. Important to note there. But it is going to be a huge round to see what they can do here. We see on this T side, SETU are breaking their way through the apartments. They're going to try to push on through and see can they get out. It is going to look like a waterfall as well as that mid-split coming on in, but slowly doing it. 1 minute 10 on the clock, and they're going to start to push the trigger. M4 starts with the kill here. We are going to see the pit player of Anime Women Aren't Real get taken out, but gets one for their trouble. Smokes are down, site is taken, and now into the 3v3, they should get this bomb plant down.
Yeah, SETU we saw that in their T pistol round on Ancient. They were so explosive with their utility and just a push in general, just to execute in general. That Trinity are just not ready for it. And Trinity, I'll pause on talking for now. 2-on-2 retake. The retake is on. There's a player coming in from short and a player coming in from long. Moon has a nade, but it's not going to be able to use it very much. Taken by Asphyxia, and now it's only one player left in pitch. Christian around with the CSGO. There's a player sticking the bomb. And Asphyxia gets the kill. The reach, was that a 2-on-2 retake from Trinity will result in the round win.
Yeah, that is going to be a 3v3. That was a great site take from SETU. Bursting out of the apartments, taking that short control through mid is going to be so strong from them. And that is a massive turnaround, though, from Trinity to be able to do it. Asphyxia pushing on through. That was a great first kill to really open up the site through Moto. And now, going to the second round, they're going to be happy and looking strong here.
Yeah, one thing I do want to note is that in the match versus UCD, UCD never really went for these more aggressive sort of banana takes. They always played a very similar style. They just fell instantly back to site, like Trinity will do in this round right here. But you'll see Trinity looking maybe to go re-aggress, taking this top banana space. So. SETU, feeling like they're not being given anything towards B, are now grouping up towards A here, and there's two players here. A perfect flash in. Awaken gets a kill, but QB with the spray, with the lineup. Moon does get the kill, so they will be able to enter the site here. A 3-on-3 retake, but QB with another. And QB has set up TCD for the retake. A 3-on-2 here. SETU with a bomb down. So the onus is on Trinity to make the first move. And Awaken will be able to get the first kill, but that's information for the player locations. And they don't expect Moon and Awaken will convert that 2v3. SETU answer right back.
Yeah.
The score is now 1-on-1.
Yeah, massive one to be able to take for SETU there to win out against Trinity. They're just this fast play out mid. It was amazing pop flash, take out the short player. You're able to go through brackets, take the site. QB gets those kills back, but these close range fights sitting on the site, these SMGs that you're just using in these ratty little corners are exactly what they need.
Yeah, it puts Trinity's economy in a very poor location. They've got a lot of smoke grenades. I assume the idea here is that they're going to constantly re-smoke this entrance towards B here, just to fake the presence, to try and push SETU into A, where there are more players here, and they're playing at much closer angles. And a Woman Aren't Real gets a taste of or something, but Awaken does well to make sure that he doesn't go down with M4. And now 5-on-3 here for SETU.
Yeah, and these pistols, not expecting too much success here, already losing out on the long and short side. QB still in the apartments, ready with the deagle in hand, so maybe something could be found here, but they are turning their attention towards that B there. They keep re-smoking it, but instead SETU are going to be the ones to find the frags. Moon, with that M4, takes out QB, and now the two remaining TCD players, looks like they're going to be the ones tested here with these 5.7s, with this armor. This could be a massive turnaround, but the timing is not quite there to get more than one for Azuki. Asphyxia left alone with the 5.7, gets a double kill, but is not going to be enough there. So SETU, they are going to get a second round on the board. Doubling up there, they might lose the pistol, but they bounce back with this double round. And TCD, they spent so much money in the previous that they're not going to be able to invest once again other than some pistols and armor.
It could have been kind of sketchy there for SETU, because I feel like they could have spent a bit more time, you know, trying to find out where those last two players are. It still goes in their favor, right? They are only playing against pistols, for example. But I mean, you can see SETU maybe calling the gun there maybe a bit too early, but it still works out in their favor. As Trinity now have 4 players towards A here, hoping that Trinity going to stack. Asphyxia is going to have 2 players headed towards his direction first. Moon gets a kill on the A side of the map. But Asphyxia does well to get 1. He gets 2 with the... he gets 2 with the 5.7, but he gets taken down immediately. And Awaken takes down a player, takes down one of the A players. Does that pull SETU into... Okay, SETU Walker? They feel that maybe there's more players towards A. So they're going to send the rest of the forces towards B. QB is here with the deagle, but I mean, they have so much utility to block him out. It feels like it should be a done round for SETU.
Definitely should be here, as they're just going to break their way forward, still taking their time there, doing their due diligence, respecting what could come against them. They've already lost a couple of players, and you don't want to expend more here, tapping with that pistol, the deagle of QB. Gonna find a little bit of work alongside Anime Women Aren't Real, who's just spamming forward here, and now 2 versus 1. There is a world to do it. He does have armor, he does have a deagle, and the weapons are not in reach though. I think he might be able to recover a scout potentially, but other than that, it is just going to be trying to break through here. No utility. If they just play safe, if they don't give away these fights, SETU should be good for a third.
The scout did actually die in pool, actually, so he's not going to be able to actually get it. And Moon, I believe that, yeah, Moon swings out from New Box, off of M4's contact. And that's a relatively stable round. There was a bit of, you know, kerfuffle with Anime Women Aren't Real pushing out with the scout, but it's a relatively... I mean, I just criticize them for going a bit too fast, potentially, and the immediate correction from SETU. So very well played there from SETU.
For sure. Round number 5, though, this is where a lot of the cards are going to be on the table here. TCD, once again, investing a lot here. It's not going to be as much weaponry as you'd like, though. SETU, on the other hand, they have everything they need. They even have that AWP on M4 in hand, ready to do some damage. This triple stack towards B is going to be tested here, jumping on that wood, getting across on the new boxes here as we get thrown away a bit. But this is a huge round. This is pivotal for both sides of the board, because if SETU can win this out, if TCD can be brought down once again in this 5th round, that gives so much momentum to the T side of Inferno. It gives so many moments. It gives an opportunity, but it is going to be a man disadvantage here, as Cristiano Ronaldo CSGO is going to get taken, but TCD's players are low. But the rotates are coming in. The A assault is going to be attempted, and it's just up to TCD to now face back. High flash to slow them down, swinging out from the pit, and there's a swarm of TCD that SETU cannot seem to swim through as they get taken out. QB finds another in Aaron James, and it's M4 left alone. They're all low HP, but the AWP is one shot nonetheless, and he gets headshotted. That is TCD taking their second and stopping SETU's string of 3.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's potentially because, you know, SETU wasn't exactly tested on that aggressive banana hold from UCD in that semifinals, right? We're seeing it now here from Trinity, and it looks like SETU don't necessarily have the best of rounds to deal with, best of strats to deal with that.
Yeah,
And
and
three
now-
again here. A miss, but Cristiano Ronaldo will be taken down. The nades do most of the work. Ozeki will clean that up. And they're just taking the fight down Banana.
Yeah, just pushing it with the pistols, but so far it's been 1 kill in their favor, but for the rest, it's just been falling in terms of SETU. They haven't found the grounds they need to. They are pushing around. Oh, gets taken over towards long, though, is awakened, and that's going to kill a lot of the progression they made as they smoke through mid. They're just going to retake it, though. The long player, once again, King Frederick gets his second out. And now it's just M4 left alive to see what they can do, sprinting in the apartments. He does have the bomb, he does have some armor, so maybe you try to break onto the site and get a plant, but for the most part, this is SETU down and out of the round.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say that round, right? SETU lose the man advantage, and then Trinity decide, no, we don't want to give them any space whatsoever. We're going to take the fight straight to SETU, and they challenge them down Banana. They challenge them basically everywhere on the map, but even that re-aggression from long, from I wasn't Ozeki, it was someone, I can't remember, but that re-aggression from long shows that they just do not want to give SETU any chances to get back into this round. So 3-all as a tactical timeout from SETU to see what they want to do with this. Are they going to buy up again?
They could potentially, I mean, they have been known to do that. They're stuck in this situation where they have, some players have enough to buy, but not everyone exactly. So instead, we'll see what they can do. We are going to push forward here. There is a moment here to see. But it's going to be tough. It will be a tough decision to see what they are going to do here in this 3-3 position. With the momentum behind TCD here after what was a couple of very, very successful rounds. And what will now be SETU seeing what they can scrounge forward. Are they going to perhaps, you know, play a little bit safer here, play for the economy and kind of throw this round a little bit away? Or will they invest further and play their cards out?
I kind of want to see some sort of investment from Moon and Aaron James here. Maybe probably Awaken as well, right? They have so much money that I kind of want to see them invest a bit and maybe try and bring the economy more in line with the others. And you know, maybe they can do something strategic. Maybe winning is maybe not the goal here. Maybe economic damage to what looks like a pretty comfortable economy for Trinity. You know, maybe do a bit of economic damage here.
It is, but it will be tough. You know, if they don't spend much money, they won't have the util to contest Banana, so they're going to have to most likely kind of alter the way they're going to go about this as we get forward here. It is going to be such an important one. I think the last time we saw these two teams face, you know, it was obviously a TCD huge victory in the 2-0 fashion. So now, seeing what they can do here, they had such a good start on Ancient, and I'm curious, can they kind of recreate some of that? Can we get the similar effects on Inferno? Can we see a strong showing from SETU, or is TCD just going to once again figure it out and find their way to, you know, take this over on the CT side?
Yeah, I'm wondering how you're approaching SETU. They can go for fast plays, but Trinity, I feel like, are just going to be there to fight them on anything. They've shown it before. They've shown it in the last eco round that SETU had. That they're willing to fight for anything. They're not willing to give up any space whatsoever for free. You're going to catch, and even if they're not going to fight you directly, they're going to fight you indirectly with all sorts of nades. You know, the nades, the Molotovs. It's just spam through smokes. It gets so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
For
and
SETU.
no, it has been very much. I think it's been a back and forth about Banana, but for the most part, it's kind of just been early round, both teams fighting for it, and then the CTs pull back. I think that's what we've seen a lot of, and we'll have to see going into round number 7. SETU investing a little bit here, partially investing, but not quite. Once again, unsure on the intent of this choice, but we'll have to see. They are going fast over towards Banana, though, and that is going to instantly be quashed here. Ozuki with 4, looking for the 5th here, the pistol in hand, the ace on the cards, a 4th for TCD, and that is a massive round to take here. SETU now completely stopped in their tracks and looking to see what they can buy up going into the 8th.
Yeah, it starts off kind of in SETU's favor, actually. But Ozuki's just so sharp with that spray on that M4A1S, by the way, which has less ammo than the M4A4. And the build with the USP, it's just so sharp with it. QB peeks down mid, I believe.
Yeah, he has the off,
Yeah.
and he just
He's
takes
got
out Awaken
wings.
off the server.
Trinity with that man advantage. Even with their man advantage, they're looking to fight. They have bottom banana smokes, and Cristiano Ronaldo cannot get support from his teammates here, as he's blocked off by a smoke. And so 5v3 advantage for Trinity. Aaron James is looking to walk through the smoke, but so is the Trinity player.
Yeah,
What? He doesn't see the player. That's massive for Asphyxia. He only gets one. They have a path straight into B here. No
Yeah,
player will be able to stop this.
yeah, they're gonna just take it. They're gonna run and go as quick as they can, throw down that smoke, take the site, but it's already quick as ever. The rotates into CT as well as the flank through Banana. They need to be ready for this. They need to take the fights. King Frederick gets taken. So now they're back with Banana control. Now it's planted for them. They may be low on HP, but they are the ones that can sit on the time here. Both kits are in the hands of TCD. QB does have an op, which may need to be switched out. But in these last few moments, it's really up to how this fight's going to go. Crossing over, Anime Women Aren't Real gets it for free. The smoke onto CT is going to be disrespected. QB taken down. It's down to the 1v1. It's down to M4 with 3 HP. It is a nade to force him back here, but the time is ticking. The defuse is started, and M4 beaks out, takes the kill, and that is a 4 for 4. Set to even it out. That man disadvantage at the start of the round gets turned around through the sneaky plays through the banana smoke.
But Asphyxia had a golden opportunity to just close out that round. He only gets one. And that's all the space, that's all the opportunity that SETU needs to turn that around. You know, it's even with a low health, he managed to find that advantage, right? SETU's main strength, I would say, is they like their ability to snowball, but also they have the individuals that can compete with Trinity in this match. So it's 4-all. Trinity all gambling forward toward A. This is really interesting.
For sure, and they've just played very passive here towards Banana as well. There is a flash to force them back here just to show some presence, but for the most part, it is set to... Oh, that smoke in mid is actually not going to do as much as it needs to, so there's full info on display. The smoke here, Ozuki's just playing deep in the pool. This is some very big swings from both sides that are not necessarily hitting the mark so far, but we'll have to see with where these stacks lead and how exactly TCD respond as they do pull away Asphyxia on that rotate. And SETU biding their time, 50 seconds on the clock, still a nice bit of utility to spare here, as it looks like the players on B are going to slowly be starved out of it with that last smoke soon to fade away.
Yeah, SETU getting ready for that B execute here. I'm surprised Trinity haven't rotated more players off. They're not seeing any, well, now they're seeing a smoke. But I'm wondering if that's even enough to justify keeping this many players towards A. As the push comes in onto B, Asphyxia, the way of the world here. Moon comes up the flank as well. Gets traded. But Asphyxia does so well. And now it's all on M4. 1v2. But with this, I say with this health, but it happened last round. It could very well happen again.
Yeah, and this time around, QB, Anime Women Unreal, trying to do this. He's going to throw the flash, not going to be good for it though, as they are both coming towards him. He sees the angle, takes the fight. It's only good for one here, as Anime Women Aren't Real gets the defuse on in. TCD take the lead once more, as SETU fumble to keep that B site in check.
I feel like in that clutch, M4 had an opportunity. It was served to him on a golden platter, but he can't isolate the fight properly. He swings out too wide and ends up taking two fights, really. I say 2 fights, but one player was jumping midair. He was not ready to take the fight. But he could have gotten that free kill and then actually played out the situation. But instead he swings out just a bit too wide. So
Yeah, and yeah, it cost them so much there. It was such a slow play to try to run it out. Great timing on that rotation to be able to bring it forward. But TCD keep themselves in such a strong position in this half, not letting it slip through their fingers, as SETU are bringing some strong moments there. I think their slow A fake, actually, it somehow held a lot of control there. So I'm surprised there wasn't quicker rotates to come on in from TCD in the end, given that, you know, there was that like sub-Paris smoke towards long that just had a massive gap in it. So it does work out in the end, though, of course. And we'll have to see, because surviving with only one player for TCD does have some ramifications on that economy, as they're slowly losing out. So if SETU can win out this round, it'll have a massive knock on it. And so the last 3 rounds of the half are very much up in the air if SETU want to try to fight for it. You know, with those bomb plants, with those kills, they don't have the best economy, but it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Trinity took so long on that rotate, because they were afraid to kind of give SETU that sort of advantage by pushing, like Trinity do so many times. Trinity are so ready to push, but that round, I feel like they didn't really want to, despite having that information read. So they kind of spooked themselves into thinking, "Oh, what if it's still an A hit?" So
Yeah, for sure. But now going into this, they are going to invest in some pistols, but we'll have to see, can they find the success here as they start to take a little bit of space towards Banana here and try to fight away those CTs.
I've just realized SETU have full invested, apart from M4.
Oh.
What? But Cristiano Ronaldo doesn't have money for next round. Is the loss bonus good enough to justify this?
I'm unsure, but I do see QB just taking shots in the apartments. Gonna take out Moon. Gonna try to fire out Aaron James, but great doubling up here towards the pit is going to be able to keep them alive here. SETU just trying to take some moments here. Trying to take some mid control. And now all the rotates come on in, though. The TCD rotate comes in from Arch. We have 2 players swinging out. Asphyxia and King Frederick double up and deal it down as they take a couple of kills for themselves. Aaron James, the only one left alive in the 1 versus 4 to fight it out. Gets another one, spams through the smoke, and try to take some shots. That Tech9 doing work, but not enough to get them over the line. So Anime Women Aren't Real finds him finally, and TCD get themselves to 6. At the very least, they have an even half.
SETU, I feel like we're gearing themselves up for an A hit, but instead of smoking long, because you've just mollied Porch, right? Instead of smoking long and trying to explode onto long, like, because an op can only handle so many people at once on a screen. But they smoke short and try to explode onto long, and there's 2 players there for Trinity. Good read.
But this round, already quick to start and take some kills. QB goes to that peak with that op, gets 1 for his trouble, but gets taken out. So down to a 4v4 already. There is still the backup available in TCD towards the B side here, but that is Banana under control of SETU for the very least to start this round off, as they have fully invested here. You know, questionable economic decisions aside, they've at least spent all their cash here in round number 11.
Yeah, maybe they calculated well enough. Maybe they had the loss bonus to be able to afford, so that they knew they would be able to afford these AKs, and they were willing to go with this Mach 10, because at the end of the day, you can go for like a faster play if you have this Mach 10. So, looks like, oh, this is such a beautiful read from Trinity. They're rotating 3 players ahead of the, and all the info they had is just there from SETU. Is it because Asphyxia isn't hearing anything on B? That they're so comfortable to rotate 3 players to hold this A site? I'm not sure, but this A site's looking very strong, and it looks like they're not ready for it. If King Frederick tucks, then maybe he doesn't go down there. M4 will get the bomb plant in, and another 2v2 situation.
Yeah, and M4 and Awaken going to be the ones to hold down the fort as best they can here. Kits on board are going to be enough. They see the short player Nizuki swinging out, though. Awaken takes the double towards long, takes the 5th for SETU, and what looked like the stack of the century turns into a fumble and a half as TCD cannot do it, and Awaken gives them their own wake-up call.
I wish we got to see that from Awaken's point of view. That must have been an insane spray transfer. That was so quick as well. It feels like that round is set up for Trinity to win. But the individuals of SETU. That's what was on display there. So SETU set up for. I'd say they're set up for an even half at the end. But there's a shotgun on King Frederick. Really get one. Is Moon expecting him to be so close? King Frederick is trying to go for the P5. He shouldn't go even deeper, but he can't get the flick onto Moon, so man advantage for Moon. Yes,
Oh, and that Molly. That's going to force back Asphyxia. That means they know he's holding close. They can assume. He does have a backup though on Azuki here, and I think they are somewhat aware of it. That's flash over, not going to hit him. And they're going to just take the fights. His head is removed by M4 over the half wall, and Azuki is alone to finalize this. Flash forward, not going to catch him off. Needs to take these fights. M4 finds the kill. Well, the M4 finds the kill on M4, and Azuki finds the double. Last round of the half into this 3 versus 3. Doubling up towards Banana as SETU try to take back the space. Aaron James pushing forward here, but the backup and Awakens shot down from behind him. It's this Gala. This AK of Moon, though, takes out. Anime women aren't real on that long. It is going to be this arch wrap around here. They don't have the bomb in hand. They need to keep going, and Aaron James doesn't have the bullets to do it. Reloading. Moon is the only one left in this 1 versus 2. 20 seconds on the clock. He needs to move quick. He needs to move fast. And TCD need to just hold down strong. They have the bomb under their control. Swinging out is Moon. He does not find it. TCD find their 7th. And SETU are left scrambling on 5.
It feels like SETU almost had a way back into the round, but the bomb is in such a precarious position. And it's just too hard for them to retake. Trinity only have 2 positions to worry about, really. They have to worry about Banana, and they have to worry about behind, because they know they hear the player from behind. But they don't. SETU don't have the utility to really force them back. And one of the players didn't even have the bullets. They had to reload, which allowed Trinity to push down Banana.
So yeah, it's great. Recovered round from TCD for sure, as SETU are not able to do it. But here, TCD on this T side pistol. We see Anime Women Aren't Real just running it straight through the mid-smoke. He's the one taking the fights here, but this, it's all a ruse. It's all just a fake out here, and they forced out the single rotate here. There's still 2 towards B, 2 contest here, and Aaron James with a triple in the CT, spamming forward the backup from M4. No smoke towards CT, and TCD are just sitting ducks in his crosshair.
I thought they had a CT smoke. What utility did they buy? I'm so confused. So many teams nowadays feels like they want to hit B without a cross smoke, but you're setting yourself up for failure, it feels like. Because you have Glocks. They're very close range weapons, and you're crossing a very long range angle, which really favors the USPs. So, SETU managed to score themselves 6 rounds here. But you managed to instantly get a kill. It's all Cristiano Ronaldo. He managed to get 2 here. King Frederick will finally take him out. But that's man advantage for SETU. And there's only 1 player actually here inside here. They know where he is now as well. Can he even get the M4?
Yeah, there's a world here. There's a 2v3. There is a couple kits on hand for SETU, but King Frederick mollied out, shot down, long-range MP7. And Uzuki's the sole defender now to keep it alive. Smoke down. It's not planted for him. It's just up to a hope and a dream with this Gala, but he might just save it. You keep your loss bonus if you get the plant off, so why not keep the Gala in hand? It's an extra $600 infusion as well on the loss. And SETU, they survived with 3. They recovered some of those M4s back, so all in all, it looked like it should have been a worse affair. But they recover it, they even up the scoreline. But now, once again, those kills, that plant, that save, TCD are in a position to purchase up once more.
Yeah, important kills there from Cristiano Ronaldo CSGO. He's been having a bit of troubles in this map, but that 1 round where he gets 3 and allows his team to retake. Yeah. Maybe it would have been easier for Trinity if they had that other player and they had 2 players inside instead of just 1, and with 1 lurking. So SETU managed to tie it up here, but they managed. SETU not really taking any sort of space whatsoever. They've kind of given it all for Trinity. The Flash is not going to do anything. Cristiano Ronaldo is just sitting on sandbags here. And the ball is... He's not going to respond with any of his own utility. Is he?
Oh, that is a great double up there. He's not mollied out. He sits in the corner. M4 doubles up with Cristiano Ronaldo, and he is going to be able to pick up 2 for 1. That's an advantage for SETU now. And now we'll see what they can do. Awaken pulling back here off the back of smoking mid. Anime Women Aren't Real. He catches a glimpse of the pit player, but not going to find the head. So they know that there's a lot going on towards A, and they're going to start to peek out accordingly. Moon takes the first one, and now going through short, going through apartments. QB's good for the first, and Awaken is sitting in the box. Hits his first, and Aaron James finds the finale. 2 survive, and SETU take the lead, importantly.
I mean, this is what you want to see from SETU, right? They're down a map. This is your map pick, and it's a very good start to take. Is this the? No, this is not the first lead they've had. It's not the first lead they've had.
No, they had the 2-1 lead. They had 3-1 lead to start us off in this game. But now, retaking it this late in the match is pivotal, especially off the 7-5 end of the half. You have won 3 in a row. You are looking for a 4th here as TCD. They invest as much as they can, but it's just pistols. It's a couple of rifles, but one of them falls out of their hands in apartments, and the rest of them are trying to scramble their way through banana here. But the defense is set up, ready, sitting back towards the site in CT.
SETU aren't seeing anything towards A here. I'm wondering why they're not rotating, as the hit is preparing to come in for Trinity. Only 2 players will be here to actually defend the site. M4 decides, you know, it's good for me to push in front of the smoke. They'll jump through. Cristiano Ronaldo CSGO will get 2, but it's traded out. Aaron James through the smoke will take down Ozuki. And now QB is left in a 1-on-3. He has okay, and he has a resmoke for CT. He takes a fight ahead of the smoke and manages to pull under 1-on-2. This is very doable. But does that give too much information away? He gets a kill on Awaken. It's a 1-on-1 now. It's all left on Moon. And he's left doubting everything. And Flash will allow him to push through the smoke. He's expecting him in. He's expecting in ruins. He's not... Moon pulls it back for SETU. They're almost out of hand for SETU, but they managed to convert that round. 9-7. The economy's very good for Trinity here, actually. They were only on pistols that round, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was crazy, though, to be able to take that over. Should not have been that close, it felt like, in the 3v1 initially. But the fact that it was, the fact that now SETU are 2 ahead, they keep that round going. They might have lost a lot of players, but they can invest nicely. And now we're going to have to see what they can do. 9-7, it's going to be tough. TCD, great time for a tactical timeout, though. This is when you want to reset. You want to get your head in check. You want to see what you can invest. You want to kind of opt for whatever you can do. And now, going into the 17th round of the half, who is going to keep it going? Because this is pivotal. This is where we get to see, can TCD claw it back, or will SETU get themselves to double digits?
We'll have to wait and see what Trinity have come up with. I believe it was them that took the tactical timeout, right? I believe it's Trinity that took the tactical timeout, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, yes, I'm just double checking.
Oh, a great shot from M4. That's a massive kill to get early. Early man advantage into the full buy of TCD. They wanted to take some banana control, but instead they're going to take some fights in apartments. But it's going to be the success of SETU once more. King Frederick brought out of the picture 5 versus 3. And Anime Women Aren't Real is left alone in the apartments, fending off while the rest of them try to break their way forward and open up banana.
I mean, the one opportunity... I mean, that's a very aggressive setup from SETU. So, 2 of the players will head towards B. Because with such an aggressive hold, you feel like they have to be playing 3 towards A. With such an aggressive sort of towards A, sorry. You have to feel like they have to be playing 3 towards A. So, they're going to go into where they feel like there's 2 players, and they've guessed right. Women Aren't Real is still in apartments, potentially trying to find a pick to maybe draw a rotation over the SETU players. But they're not seeing anything. Arch is still completely empty, and there's a player boosted up on here. M4 is just sitting here. A beautiful pre-fire from Asphyxia. What is that?
Yeah, fantastic shot. Now Cristiano Ronaldo still in the boost. They did not smoke off high. He is just going to sit, bide his time, wait. 20 seconds on the clock. Once they start planting, perhaps he starts, but he's going to take the shots and miss them, whiffing away from Asphyxia. They get the plant on down. And it's going to be this 3 versus 2 retake here. They have kits, they have some utility, they have the rifles. It's up to TCD to keep it strong, to defend themselves well. Catching the shoulder, though, they're going to get a glimpse here, doing the jiggles, catching the sight here, but Aaron James is not going to find the kill. Instead, Moon falls accordingly to Azoki. And now towards Dark, towards Coffins. It's a 1 versus 2 now, just out Aaron James. Towards Dark, but Asphyxia finds the final kill, surviving with that 4 HP due to the whiff on boost. 1 round between them, and SETU take that. It's tried, it's tested, it's tough, but they do it.
If Cristiano Ronaldo got that, just even 1 kill there, if he took a bit more time to line it up, then SETU, I feel like, would have been in prime position to just take the map there. But that's a 4-on-2 for Trinity. I believe it's a 4-on-2.
It is.
I don't know whether Anime Woman Aren't Real died before, but if it's effectively a 4-on-2 on the B site. And Trinity are being given a lifeline back in, feels like a lifeline back into this map. SETU are now forced onto pistols. 1 player has an SMG, and SETU are just hoping that they can find what feels like lucky shots into Trinity now, with no utility, with 1 smoke, right? But it feels like it's barely counts utility compared to what Trinity have. The smoke's not perfect actually. As Aaron James will peek up. Oh, Aaron James botches the kill. Gets nothing, and A will fall down. Will fall with 0 players lost for Trinity on A. What? M4 will be able to take a player out by pushing that B smoke, but he's already saving the AK. He knows there's no chance in this round. He doesn't have a kit. He doesn't have armor.
No, this is just a save for sure.
That's just a save.
Yeah, definitely. And now SETU, you know, that's such a crucial round. The previous one is what opens the door up, and TCD take the opportunity by the horns and push it as quick as they can. Winning the last 2 is massive. Getting it to 9-9 is massive. It's really up to SETU though. Now the score is going to be evened up. Now TCD are in a great position. Now M4 might get checked out, but he's going to hear the steps. He's going to take the fights. He's going for the first, can't take the second, so he's not able to keep the rifle on hand. But they should potentially get some kind of buy-up. They don't have the loss bonus though, so it really is a question of how do they want to run this.
I don't agree with that peek out from M4. He feels like he thinks he can get 2, but I feel like if he gets 1 and then plays maybe for that straight swing, yeah, maybe he can get out there. But he feels like he's a bit overconfident in that save. So though it is a save, they lose a round anyway. It just means that they won't be able to take that AK into this round. So
yeah,
tied up 9-9. Tied up 9-9. Trinity have pulled it back from, I believe it was what?
9-7. We had a 9-7.
Yeah.
So they've won the last couple, which are huge. Yeah, the saved rifle would have been such a boon going into this, because that is just such a big amount of money that you lose out on by dropping that. You know, there was a nade involved. So now TCD, they're in a great position here. They're starting to build an economy here as well, but if SETU can find their way back in, if they can claw their way to double digits first, there is a massive game available to them that opens up. But for now, it is going to be a question of how do they want to do this. We're going to see, I think, it looks like full investments across the board, which is going to be huge. We are seeing that M4 to pick up the Mag 7, which I'm curious to see how they're going to run this. It does look like it will have to run its way towards Banana.
I kind of half agree with this buy from SETU. They do have enough money to be like, oh yeah, we should definitely be doing something with this round. But full investing everything into this round, I don't necessarily agree with. The bomb from Awaken takes down King Frederick, and Moon takes out Army Women aren't real, who's looking for the trade. So 5v3. And everyone with that.
Yeah, this is SETU having a strong setup, but now TCD, they bounce back here. The lack of utility and strong weaponry means that Banana is open for business, and the B site is ready to get planted. The smoke towards CT gives them time to cross, but in a 3 versus 2, there's a world here. We've seen them fall in this position before here. They have a couple kits on board, but no utility is going to make it tough to get this op out of the way.
Yeah, talking about the utility, Trinity have 2 mollies and a nade and a flash. It feels like they can burn so much time here for SETU. But they're not using their utility just yet. A molly now, but it's missed. Is that on top of the bomb actually?
It was. The molly's going to slow them down, but they should be able to still defuse it here. They both have kits on hand. It's only the 5-second here. Trying to see what they could do here. It's going to tick down, but that's a defuse on the cards. That is 10-9 in favor of SETU, who get themselves to double digits. That is a big round for them to take. They make such big moves. The aggression towards apartments, that nade that had to dunk the balcony player is pivotal there. The Mag 7 and Banana as well finds a kill, and what a retake to do it. I think that them pulling out the util is actually what cost them. QB wasn't posted up ready for the banana push. The mollies are used, but they don't slow it down. They just falter Trinity's chances.
Yeah, I feel like if that utility just comes out a bit earlier, then it prevents SETU from actually taking those fights. And yeah, puts Trinity in prime position. Now they have beautiful flashes from Mozuki. Get them to the mid smoke. And they're already waiting. Are they looking for a waiting ban? What? They're probably gonna put CT. As Kushir on CSGO will take 2 before going down himself, but does dinks onto King Frederick. And there's a player on B here, sorry.
Yeah, and he's going to be in new box and to try to slow them down. Throws the flash. They know exactly where he is, and he's now just trapped in the corner. Takes fights for dealing damage. Go for the first and tags down QB. So it might be down to a 2v2, but there's some damage dealt. There's kits across the board, and there's so much util in the pockets of SETU. They are going to be in a position to try to fight this, especially with how quickly these rotates come in. We have CT. We have towards Banana, and we have a chance here. But look at this setup they're going for. The double up towards Pool. They know where the last is. They know where Ozuki stands. And they're going to have to keep an eye out for pushing back through his own smoke, faltering back towards it. Weird to molly the new box there, given the info you have. But for now, I think they're waiting for him on site. The spam comes on in. He has a smoke, though. He can't just smoke off this defuse. The spam comes in. The rifles fire. And Awaken's trying to find that bomb. He's looking for it. He's spamming. He's out of bullets. And Ozuki, he's going to look for the knife. He needs to get there in time. He gets one in. He gets a multiple. But it's SETU that gets the defuse. 11-9. And Awaken in the smoke diffuses right under the eyes of Trinity.
What was that from SETU? It feels like, it started off, that retake started off quite well. They get the kill, and they know where the last player is. I believe they had the player in ruins already holding for the cross. They know he shouldn't have been able to cross back into side, I feel like. Unless the player wasn't there in time. And so they molly new box, which feels weird, considering no one's watching CT. And then the player goes down, just feels like completely unaware that CT was even a possibility.
Yeah.
And he ninja diffusing the smoke. What was that round?
Yeah, fantastic from SETU, but this time around, Trinity opened it up. King Frederick has found a kill in the apartments, takes Awaken, upgrades that MP7 into an AK, and now they're making it competitive. Trinity, they have the nades in hand, they have the setup situation, they have the control that they're looking for now. And it's up to SETU to see what they can do here. They've won the last couple of rounds, but it's been costly. It's been one player surviving. It's been spending so much at the start of every round to reinvest for your nades, for your weapons. And it has been TCD just chipping away at that economy as they built it up with the plans with the loss bonus.
I see Trinity throwing a CT smoke in for B, trying to pull out some of the last remaining utility here from SETU. SETU with no nades anywhere on the map, whereas Trinity have enough for what feels like it actually got into both sides. As Moon wasn't being expected, but he is taken out anyway. And I mean, the B site and the A site defense for SETU just collapses immediately. They don't have the utility to fight back. They don't have the player advantage. And it's just clean shots hit from Trinity. So
Yep.
Trinity onto 10 here.
Yeah, Jame time comes in as SETU. They're just going to give this away. The two bleed players know they can't fight back into this with the weapons and the utility. So TCD take the 10th, as you say, and it's one round between us. It's SETU going to be struggling going into the next here, so saving is crucial. We have to see, can they complete it? Can they finish it? Can they keep the weapons on board? As the chase looks like it is on, at the very least, Azuki is poking and prodding towards the Cathedral.
They do have a crossfire setup here. M4 is taking the peak. What? Why is... M4, you have the crossfire. Why are you deciding to peek here? And both players for SETU are going to go down. Why does he go for the peek? They have a beautiful crossfire setup so that if anyone decides to challenge them, they're going to be pinching them from both sides. So, what SETU had the gun. They had the opportunity to save two, I believe it's AKs into the next round, or it's two rifles into the next round. And now they have to take a tactical timeout because they have nothing.
Yeah, that was very quick and perhaps incorrect decision making to end it off, but that's the minutia. That's where things can get jumbled up here. You know, you have your great ideas, you have your mechanics, but sometimes it's just, you know, those small moments where you hear the steps, you make a decision, and instead it's going to be a struggle. Tactical timeout has finished out for SETU as they are making some decisions alongside this, looking at their money, looking at their situation and seeing what they can do. It seems like what they are opting for is just some pistols, nothing crazy, making sure they can buy into the next potentially. But TCD are on the cusp of taking us to an even match, 11-11 here on Inferno.
I mean, we've seen people do wild things with these pistols, right? So let's not count SETU out just yet. Trinity have the advantage, but anything can happen in this match. We've had ninja defuses. That round we're just there. So Trinity taking very slowly, as they're very cautious because, I mean, SETU did take a timeout. You would assume that they have some sort of plan here. I think they just took the timeout to discuss whether or not they want to invest into this. Because the money on Cristiano Ronaldo CSGO and Awaken is probably enough to justify pistols. Awaken gets a kill on B, I believe? I can't know.
On King Frederick, he takes out the long player as well, and that's going to be some trades coming out, but the pistol, it can't finish out the headshot. Too long a range, and Ozuki stays alive, but the damage being dealt with these pistols is so high. But 2 versus 3, it doesn't look like it should be enough. The bomb is planted. Maybe you can find some weapons left, as loads have been dropped around short, and you can perhaps pick up something. You still have a deagle on Aaron James that could potentially find something. Ozuki just posted on the angle, takes out that deagle. Just M4 left, and now just going to try to recover that AK. He's going to pick it up and walk away as best they can. They have no armor, so just got to get far enough away from that bomb radius. But a saved rifle here is massive, especially, you know, you're talking about the economy, you're talking about how much it matters. And that means you don't have to buy a rifle. That's 2,900 saved up. That's a couple more kills in favor of SETU that might matter. I don't know if it will. There's only a couple more rounds left in the half, so the money is still happy out, so I don't think you mind losing too much. But that's huge for SETU. AK in hand, he can perhaps drop that. He can get more utility. He can get a kit on board. That could be the difference maker between a map win or losing this finals 2-0.
Yeah, I feel like SETU could have just gone for exits there. The Trinity players were low enough. If they managed to, you know, pick up those 4 guns, I feel like their buy is much more comfortable here. But the utility is partially there, not fully there. QB with ready.
Ooh. Boone trades it out, but I think Kubi was potentially going to go for another shot if he had the chance. Instead, though, into this 4v4, into a massive round for both sides.
Yeah, I think I'm favoring Trinity in this situation. SETU have been very willing to just use their utility early, which has led to situations where SETU haven't had the best tools to be able to hold on to the sites. I feel like if Trinity throw, let's say, a smoke CT here, that's gonna force out like a molly and a smoke for SETU, and like a flash. Like they've just been throwing out so much that it kind of. Oh, well, I say
Yeah,
too much. They're just going in.
Yeah, the exact 40 seconds in, they have to go for something here. They tried to push it over. Aaron James in the back of the site, in the new boxes, takes one, has to reload that M4. Still alive, though. The off-no scope from QB is going to take him out, and we're down to the 3v3. The bomb will be planted down in the B site, and it is Trinity to try to keep this going. They want to win it out. They want to take this 2-0. And they are slowly pulling themselves closer and closer. Great op shot from QB to take out Moon. And now in the 2 versus 3, how do you fight back against this? You have some flashes, you have a kit, but you do not have enough time perhaps here. As breaking forward, great shot though to take out Azuki, Asphyxia, and QB double up, take the kills, and Trinity, they're on to 12, they're on to map point, they're on to game point, they are on to national finals point here on Inferno.
I just want to bring up the fact that SETU could have gone for exit kills there. Instead they feel compelled to go for this retake, but it's already such a sketchy situation. If you can keep your weapons while denying Trinity's, Trinity didn't have that good of an economy actually. So I mean that round win does give them a lot of money, but I mean SETU had a chance there, I feel like. And now look at their weapons. You have 2 FAMASs, an M4, a Galil, and I believe that's a 5.7. And Awaken looks like it might be taking first contact here in towards apartments.
Oh.
Doesn't get the kill onto Asphyxia. So he will have to duck out and dodge there.
Yep, forced back now, and it's still in the 5v5, still time ticking, but that just means SETU are slowly being run dry of this utility, slowly coiling around and making it so difficult for them to do anything. Trades, though, are going to occur towards Banana. We are going to see Azuki find M4. And the timing is not in Awaken's favor. They're re-aggressing into apartments a little bit too antsy, going for a dry, and now all alone towards the A site is going to be Moon here. Rotating though, Aaron James, he needs to be quick to do it, but I don't know if he can be quick enough. This MP9 needs to kill a whole horde. He's ready, flashed out though, swings forward and QB shoots him out of the car. 2 versus 4 stands between Trinity and this victory. 30 seconds, but it doesn't matter. The bomb gets planted. It's a FAMAS, it's a 5-7. It is very little to work with. QB though, uncharacteristic miss isn't gonna do it. King Frederick finds the double, finds the map, finds the match. That is TCD winning out the Ireland Esports Collegiate Series CS2 National Finals over SETU.
I mean, congratulations. Are we cutting?
Oh,
Yeah. Congratulations to Trinity there. It felt like SETU, it is their map pick. They come in so strong. Here it feels like they have so many ideas, but those last couple of rounds I feel like just slightly mismanaging their economy, and it gives Trinity just that little edge that they need to win out those rounds. Feels like.
Yeah, massive win here as we see teams get their handshakes. Absolutely massive from SETU though, I think, to bring the fight that close. I think there was a world where they take it to map 3, that they can get it over, but once again, TCD just showing why they keep winning in these finals. It is such a strong display, it is such a strong game, and in the end, they're the ones that are able to take it over the line.
Yeah, I mean, props to SETU, right? They came in so strong on Ancient. Maybe they kind of calmed down a bit, but I mean that Inferno was just so entertaining to watch. Like there's all sorts of things happening, going for all these ballsy plays.
Yeah,
but I feel like just in towards apps, I feel like they just run that a few too many times, like really contesting that, and it feels like the Trinity are ready for that.
For sure. But great adjustments though over there for both sides. Both sides were taking these big swings, as you say, and it worked out a lot of the time, but often it didn't. There was a lot of clutches, there was a lot of moments, there was a lot of times, it was down to those 1v1s, those 2v2s, those massive moments of just individualism, not those set pieces. And in the end, TCD, I think, just have individualism in spades. I think QB, would be someone that I point to there. You could see near the end, the op shots they were hitting, I think, were pivotal. Throughout the game, though, everyone was taking their pieces. I think Ozuki as well was another player that had a phenomenal display here on Inferno at the very least.
Yeah. I mean, there's players from SETU I want to shout out because, I mean, again, they were playing so well here. You know, even in some scenarios, right? Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, not necessarily the best series, but that 3K on B, really showing up when the team needs it. I believe, was it SETU that got the ace?
I'm actually unsure. Oh no, it was Trinity Ozuki got the ace on Banana
okay.
with the M4 and the USP. So that was a massive one as well. But overall, I think you know, not to throw anything away from them, but I think we were expecting a lot more of a, you know, a bigger 2-0 from Trinity. I think that was what was going through the heads of a few of us, you know, seeing how they've done so far in all of Collegiate, seeing how they've done this season. We were expecting a much, not necessarily stronger display, but for SETU to not necessarily put up as big of a fight here. So that's where a lot of that respect's got to come into, to get it to a, you know, 11-11, to get it to a moment where it is very much the minute plays that matter. You know, those small clutches especially that really, really take it over the line, and that's what matters at the end of the day when you're on this stage.
Yeah, the host is getting ready for an interview.
But no, yeah. So absolutely, once again, congratulations. And to show us what exactly was going on that stage, we are going to take it to Sandbag.
Thank you so much, casters. Commiserations to SETU coming up so close, 13-11 in the second map. One more time for the runners-up of Counter-Strike 2, SETU. Come get cheer. You're taking your photos. You're getting it for the Red Bull. Five here. And for the very final time, the last game, Counter-Strike 2, TCD, your champions. Captain Jack, come out here. I'm gonna interview him now. Jack. How are we feeling off the back of that one? A 2-0, but about as close to 2-0 as you could get.
It was way harder than we expected. Like, we expected a fight, but Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? It was really close, but we pulled through. There were some very low lows, especially on Ancient 05, that timeout. Thank the God. But yeah, we're feeling good.
Pulling out all the stops, and I remember seeing near binders worth of preparation. How long were you guys prepping for this? I saw the sheets backstage, flicking through paper after paper. How much of that came into play?
It was mostly just tendencies, because you can't demo review too much. There's not a lot of games because the seasons of Premier were a lot shorter. Like, it was 3 games, 4 games for this season, so it was a lot harder. It was mostly just positions and basic tendencies that they had, and that's all we used it for.
Right. Any last thing for the stream as you're going to be the final game? You want to sign this one off?
I just want to say thank you to RedBull,
right,
IECS, the whole lot, and to our friends that came out over there. Big bless. And that's it. That's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. The rest of the team, come join Cap here to present you with your finals. TCD Counter-Strike 2 Grand Final Champions 2026. And finally, after over 1,000 participants, months of work, colleges all across the country, there has been one college crowned champion of the Collegiate Series 25-26. The university who comes out on top across all games, Rocket League, League of Legends, Valorant, Counter-Strike. University College Dublin comes out on top. Congratulations. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself and who you are to the university?
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm the esports officer for UCD, and I was the one that made it that UCD could even partake in IECS this year. And it's one of my proudest achievements thus far. And to even see UCD come up so fast from like, there was basically no one in it a year ago. And like, I'm just so proud of everyone. Like, I was here yesterday when UCD were playing in both Valorant and League. And I was sat there and like I was crushed for my Valorant players, like especially like watching them there and like seeing it on their face for the first time, like seeing how much they care about it. And especially in League where we got to win. I know a lot of them personally, like especially Eric. He wasn't the captain, but he was the person that he really helped push League and helped me push League for it. And just seeing how much it meant to him and how much it meant to me. I care so much about Overwatch. I'm Overwatch, by the way.
Okay.
I play Overwatch. We won that. But I care so much about esports, and I care so much about UCD. And to see it become something, and to see it that all of the work, and I've seen so much work. Like, I have to give it to so many of the players. They come in, and they play every day, and they try so hard. They set up scrims, they talk to each other, and it comes out on stage. We won everything. It feels so good.
Absolutely. It's different when it's on LAN. You're able to have the crowd. So representing UCD, not only yourself, but everyone behind you, your prize. One more time, UCD Grand Champions of the Collegiate Series 25-26, University College Dublin. Thank you all so much for joining us over the course of this, from the very first group stage games to here at the RDS on the RedBull live stage every step of the way. These students, these athletes, these competitors making it worthwhile, but also a big shout out, production behind the scenes, the Epic LAN guys, the collegiate guys, the ones who keep this turn on, everything, the admins, everyone volunteering their time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, and tears, making this thing happen. But as with all good things, this must also come to an end. GamerFest 26, this is the very final sign-off. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you guys in the next split. Keep an eye on those socials as we relive this over the course of the year into the next split. But for the rest of today, thank you all and have a great rest of your night. Take care, folks.